We're live.
We're live. Great. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're live. So, yeah, really nice to imagine you're all there. I was going to say really nice to see you. So I'm Subhadramati, and I'll be taking the class tonight. And I have Sanjay and Ipalit as my crew. So really nice to be working with them again. And yeah, I think there's quite a few people waiting already. Ipalit, how many people are?
We've got about 31 people now.
31 people. Anybody said hello yet?
We've got Emma Thorby Witham from Dagenham.
Great. Hi, Emma.
Maitra Bandu from upstairs.
Maitra Bandu. Very nice. So supportive. Yeah, good. Anyone here for the first time?
Oh, that'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If you're here for the first time, maybe.
Well, we've got hi from Graham in North Italy.
Oh,
Trieste.
great. Hi, Graham.
Yeah. And we've got Dianata as well, tuning in.
Oh, good. So we've got the regular Wednesday class team tuning in. That's really good. Great.
We've got Anna Ferreira from down the road.
Oh, great. Hello, Anna. Real regular. Great.
Yeah.
Good. A few minutes ago, I nearly made a blunder with the clock. I said, time's going really slow, and it was because I'd accidentally stopped the clock. But luckily, Sanjay put it right to me. Good. So, yeah, we'll give it a few minutes till 7, and then...
We've got a hello from Brixton.
Oh, good. Hello to Brixton. Who's here from Brixton?
Joanna Shields.
Okay, hi, Joanna.
We've got a hello from Dublin.
Oh, who's from Dublin?
Daniel Canning.
Hello, Daniel. Yeah, great.
And Vidyadhaka, Sarjana.
Great. Sarjana's a real regular now, aren't you, Sarjana? Welcome to you. And hi, Vidyadhaka.
Richard Hallows from North Wales. Nina Allen from downtown NYC.
Oh, great. Nina, lovely to see you again, or imagine you. You've been a real regular, Nina. Yeah, so maybe that's the furthest place so far, New York.
Yeah, it might be.
Anyone else from overseas?
Andrew Ravenscroft from the other side of Victoria Park.
Okay, well, that's that can feel quite far away as well these days. Yeah.
Martin Bailey from Gloucester.
Great. Anybody from Scotland? If anybody's from Scotland, that might be my family.
No, we've got Josephine from Brighton.
Okay, hi Josephine.
Remember Josephine from the business day that I did.
Okay.
Julie from Pagelsham.
Oh, where's Pagelsham?
Don't know where Pagelsham is.
Okay, well, we'll go from Pagelsham.
Someone from New Malden.
Oh.
Someone from Borth in West Wales.
Great. It actually is great. I mean, we really miss being able to open the centre and welcome you all in person. But it's been amazing, the sort of positive side effect, just to have so many of you from far and wide, and people who couldn't come because of distance or other reasons. So really, really great to have so many people from all over. Great. How many are with us now?
We've got 65 now.
65, right? Great.
Oh, we've got someone, Julie from Hertford. My first time here, watching in London, and usually attend a local Hertford group.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Julie. First time to the London Buddhist Centre. Great. Really, really good.
Yeah, someone from Chester as well. Yeah.
Great.
So we've got 67 people
Good,
now,
so people are flooding in now. That's always good.
Yeah.
Great. Good. So hello everybody. So do you make it 7 o'clock now?
Yeah.
So okay, so we're at 7 o'clock, so this is the official start. So really, really warm welcome to everyone. My name's Subhadramati, and welcome to our online Wednesday night class. So I've been part of the team for Wednesday nights I was trying to calculate it in my mind, many years, about 25 or 30 years I've been coming along on a Wednesday night to the London Buddhist Centre with others, with some of the people who are watching, Maitreya Bandhan and Diane Arthur more recently. And really, really pleased that we can bring this class to you live. And if you don't know already, this is part of something we're doing every night, every weekday night. We've got an online class from 7 till 8. And great to welcome new people, and actually great that so many of you have been following us, well, not following, actually joining in with us, every night or many times in a week. So really, really good to have everyone here. So what we'll do is it's a meditation class. So I'm going to just talk for a little bit and just introducing an aspect of meditation, or really an aspect of what I've been thinking about that meditation can address, really, sort of issues that arise in our lives, especially now that meditation can help us work with, help us address. And then we'll do some meditation together. And even if it's your very first time meditating, that's fine, because I'll guide you into that. And then we'll have about 20 minutes at the end for questions and hopefully answers. I'll try my best to respond to questions. So there'll be time after the meditation to write your questions in the comments box, and Sanji will feed them to me. So here we are. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, I just thought I'd talk about, in a way, my own mind, what's been going on in my own mind, because I'm imagining some of the things that are going on in my mind are going on in your mind and other people's minds. And it's interesting, this particular time, like every week, every few days seems to bring a new stage, doesn't it? It definitely brings a new stage in the outer world, but I think I've noticed it really brings a new stage in my own state of mind and the state of mind of my friends. And I was thinking at the beginning, there was all this sort of, those senses of shock and what's happening, but at the beginning of all this, there was a sense of, we're all really in this together. We're all really in this together. Strong solidarity, and we're really going to stick together. And it's hopefully that is still there as well. But I've been noticing in my own mind something that's starting to sort of fracture a little bit. And I thought this is the stage of sort of argumentativeness. I've noticed myself that I'm both a bit argumentative and also a bit touchy, which is a bit of a fatal combination. So I'm kind of a bit reactive in relation to other people. Hope that's not doesn't alarm you to hear that your meditation teacher has been a bit argumentative. And also, on the other hand, I'm a bit touchy towards what people are bringing to me. So that's quite a sort of potent combination of argumentative touchiness. And it's not surprising, though, is it? It's not surprising at this stage that that's coming about. And if I was in a live class now, I'd be asking you to nod your head if I wasn't the only one to be experiencing this. I can see Sanji nodding his head. It's not surprising, because we've been in this particular situation for some weeks now, and we've got real life things we're trying to work with and deal with. And I've been very aware that we've got more and more, we've got dilemmas, haven't we? We've even got moral dilemmas and different opportunities for different people to have different opinions about things that I might not mention, but that you can imagine, yeah? And we've got moral dilemmas, different opinions, easy to get a bit argumentative, also easy to get a bit touchy. And what I was thinking, I was reflecting about this in my own meditation this morning. I just thought, you're never going to solve these things on their own level. You're never going to, sort of argue your way out of moral dilemmas and so on. Well, you might, to a sort of very, very limited extent. Those arguments take place, well, outwardly, but if you're anything like me, they take place in one's own mind. You know, you're trying to meditate, you think, well, if she says that, I'm just going to say this, but in a way that you just sort of ricocheting then between, blaming somebody else, getting touchy with them, blaming yourself, thinking, oh, why am I so touchy? That's what I mean when I say we can't really get out of these sort of situations on its own level. What we have to try and do, and this isn't the work of a day, is evoke a new mind. I say that quite advisedly. It is really a new mind. It's not just that we've got to change our mind from one point of view to another. It's we have to try somehow and bring about a new kind of mind. A mind that's bigger, a mind that's got more perspective, a mind that can work in a completely new kind of way. That's what we talk about in Buddhism when we talk about a positive mind. I'm going to be exploring this word positive in a little while, what it is and what it isn't. But we want to sort of see if we can bring about a positive mind that's got a completely new way of thinking than our sort of usual mind, which we could call a more kind of reactive, even negative mind. We want to bring about a mind that's more creative, that's more responsive, that's more kind of capable of lateral thinking, a sort of looser mind, not a mind that's all kind of tied up in a knot. When I was thinking about this morning after my meditation, I turned to, I'll hold it up actually, this book. I had The Journey and the Guide by my good friend Maitreya Bandhu. Hopefully he's still watching. Hello Maitreya Bandhu, here's your book. I turned to that and I just opened a page. It's lovely when you do that, isn't it? You just open a page. I had a feeling that Maitreya Bandhu had something to say about this. And I found a brilliant description of what of negative mind. And Maitreya Bandhu said when we're in sort of a negative mind state, that the negative mind sort of activates search and destroy thinking. And I really like that. It's very pithy and very accurate. So, yeah, sort of negative mind, sort of negative state of mind, negative mood, if you like, activates like search and destroy thinking. You want to find out what's wrong and eliminate it. And that is limiting, it's painful. So what Buddhism can offer in meditation is a way to move out of this search and destroy kind of mind into a more positive mind that's creative, that's responsive, and that can think more freely and more laterally. And meditation gives us a direct way of working with our minds, on our minds, to help to bring this about. Before we go on to actually meditate, I just want to say just a little bit more about this word positive, because when we talk about positive in Buddhism, we mean it in quite a particular way. I thought maybe what I'll say it isn't. Sometimes it's helpful, isn't it, to say what something isn't. So let me think. So what's a positive mind not? So when I talk about positive mind, I'm not talking about a sort of, I don't know, like naive optimism. So Buddhism isn't trying to kind of, I don't know, create this kind of false sense of, oh, don't worry, everything will be all right kind of mind. It's certainly not a mind that's full of blame, is it? It's not a mind that's full of blame or even tinged with blame. If we think we're in a positive state of mind, it's soon tested when we notice ourselves like blaming somebody for something. And then we realise we weren't quite as positive as we thought we were. It's also not a mind that's full of guilt. I've heard quite a lot of people say that, here they are, they find themselves in good circumstances, but then they end up sort of been a bit paralysed by guilt, because there's always other people that are in a more difficult circumstance than oneself. But it doesn't really help oneself or anybody else to feel guilty about that. So positive mind isn't characterised by blame or guilt, but it's not sort of naively optimistic either. It's not it's not a sort of it's not about platitudes. It's not a mind that's saying, we'll just everything passes kind of thing. So it's not a mind that kind of just comes out with platitudes. In a way, a positive mind isn't even necessarily a happy mind. I mean, it might be that positivity and happiness coincide, but it might not be. One might be actually feeling like quite sad and still be positive. If we take the definition of positivity as creative, responsive, fluid, and so on. So that's, I just wanted to say a little bit about what I mean by positive mind before we actually have a little meditation to actually see if we can bring about more positive states of mind, more positive type of mind. So I hope that's illustrated what I mean by positive mind. What it isn't, it's not sort of falsely cheerful, just sort of wallpapering on a bright smile in spite of everything. It's not a kind of stoical resignation to life and the events of life. It's something genuinely creative. And of course, for Buddhists, we have the example of the Buddha, who all the time would be in this state of being of what I'm calling positivity, an outflowing of unselfishness, of generosity, and be active and just completely concerned with the welfare of everyone all the time. That is possible, that's possible for all human beings, but as I keep saying, it's it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen through willpower either. We have to patiently and persistently work with our minds. It's like we're trying to turn around the very deepest core of our being. Buddhism's got this expression I really like, turning about in the deepest seat of consciousness. And that's what we're trying to do. It's possible. The Buddha's told us it's possible, but it takes patient persistence. So that's by way of introduction to the meditation that we're going to do. What we're going to do is meditating on loving kindness. If you've already meditated with us, you'll know this as the metta bhavana. Metta meaning loving kindness, positivity in the way I've described it, unselfishness, wish to help all beings, and bhavana means the cultivation of, the flourishing of. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an abbreviated version of that practice. For those of you who know the practice, it's an abbreviated version. For those of you new to it, I'll just tell you what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is in a moment, we're going to sit comfortably, set ourselves up for meditation. And then I'll lead us through a little bit of body awareness. And then we're going to tune in to our hearts, our heart center. And we're just going to bring to mind something that's moved us, or maybe we've witnessed someone else being generous or brave, or maybe we've just seen something very beautiful, like the blossom tree. I find that on my daily walk. I'm sort of walking along, in my, the mode of mind that I was describing earlier, a bit argumentative, a bit touchy. Then you just suddenly look up this enormous blossom tree, and it just has a transformative effect. So bring something to mind that's moved you. We'll bring something to mind that just has stirred us in that way, and we'll just dwell with that for a few minutes. And then we will bring to mind a friend, and we will just imagine that friends care for us and our care for them, and we would just dwell with that. And then we'll expand that out to all beings, people we like, people we don't like, people we don't know. And that'll all take us about 20 minutes. And then after that, as I say, there'll be time for questions and hopefully responses from me. Okay, so let's get ready to do that now. So wherever you're sitting, if you're in your armchair or on your sofa, just make yourself comfortable. Quite good if you can have your feet flat on the ground, and quite good if you can have your hands resting on something. I'm actually sitting on meditation cushions, which you might also have. You can set yourself up like that. So just get comfortable. And then just close our eyes. We're going to dim the lights here. Squeaky lights here. So the first thing to do is really tune in to the actual sensations of contact of your body with the floor and with whatever you're sitting on, chair or sofa, or maybe meditation cushions. And the first thing to notice is just notice if there's any tendency to be slightly bracing yourself as if you're about to leap up at any moment. So very often, even though we're sitting down in a chair, it's like we're slightly tense or slightly braced, as if we're going to spring into action at any moment. Notice that. See if you can encourage more and more of your weight to drop down into the chair. Or cushions or sofa cushions, and into the floor as well. Force that, but you can just give it time and encouragement. And I always imagine that the whole base of my posture is like a big sack of rice or sand that someone's just put there on the floor. And it's just settling down. All the little grains are finding their level. There's more and more of a sense of stability. Your weight's going down, and at the same time your energy is rising up. So your spine rising up in its own natural curves. Your head just poised. And then see if you can soften your face a little bit more. And see if you can soften your belly a little bit more. And see if you can soften your hands. Tuning into the sensitivity of the hands. And noticing that your body is breathing. You need to make an effort to breathe. The body is just breathing by itself. You can just notice the actual sensations of that for a few moments. Now just tuning into your heart center. So not so much your physical heart, just that area in the center of your chest where we tend to feel emotion. Just tuning into that area, noticing how it feels. Even if the feeling is nothing much, just notice that. And keep softening the face as well. And now just bring to mind something that's moved you. Perhaps something beautiful in nature, like the blossom tree. Perhaps something you've read about, some generosity or courage, or something you've witnessed. Bringing that to mind and allowing yourself to be affected by that. there's any effect, especially in the heart. Your mind goes away, just coming back to your physical sensations, and coming back to the heart center. And coming back to the thing you're remembering that's moved you. Allowing yourself to be affected. Softening the face. And now we'll bring to mind a good friend. Just bringing that friend into our mind, a sense of them or an image of them. And all we're doing at first is just dwelling with our friend in our imagination. And allowing ourselves to be affected by the presence of our friend in our mind. Notice any effect in our heart center when we bring them to mind. Remembering that they care for us. See if we can allow that in, that care. into our care for them. Wishing them well in our minds. And if you find your mind's gone away, that's all right. Let's come back to the sense of the body. And then, once again, to the image of your friend. Receptive to their care for you. And allowing that to activate your care for them. And now we're going to start to expand this well-wishing. Include more people. So, expanding to include perhaps people in your household if you live with other people. In your street and neighborhood. And bring particular people to mind. And wish them well. And just see if you can keep extending this well-wishing. Include more and more people. Even people that you don't agree with. See if you can wish them well as well. And connected with the heart center. softening the hands, the face. Keep extending this heart wish for the welfare of all beings. Now, for the last few moments, still sitting still with our eyes closed, we're just relaxing any effort we're making, just sitting here quietly. And then, when you're ready, bringing the meditation to a close. Good. So, good. Well done, everyone. Very nice to imagine us all meditating together. And yeah, so this is the time, if you've got any questions, you can write them in the box and I'll try and respond to them. And yeah, you can ask questions on anything about meditation, about Buddhism. Particularly interested if you've got any questions on what I was saying about the nature of what we mean by a positive mind in Buddhism. But yeah, you can ask about anything and I'll try and respond. Yeah. Don't know if we've got any questions already, Sanjay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh well.
Ariane said to tell her that we love her, so that's nice.
Well, that's nice. Well, that's very positive. That's Ariane from my community. That's very, very nice. Okay. Well, hopefully think of a question, or I'll have to ask Sanjay to ask me a question. You can ask a question about anything. How many people are here?
So yeah, there's 124 people watching just now. So.
124 people and not one question.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll give them a minute.
Give them a minute. Maybe it's still coming
They
out.
might be writing.
Yeah,
as we
might
speak.
be writing as we speak. Yeah. Okay, good.
Someone's just asked about explaining more about a creative mind.
Okay. So that's so someone's asked. So who's asked this question?
Gil Thomas. Or
Jill Thomas.
Jill
Hi
Thomas.
there, another regular. So yeah, very good question about what do I mean? What do we mean talking about creative mind? So when we talk about creative mind, or when I talk about it, I do mean something quite particular. Maybe the first thing to say is usually we use the word creative when we're talking about something sort of specifically artistic. So I don't mean creative specifically in the artistic sense, like writing poetry or drawing or painting, although it's akin to that. So by creative mind, well, maybe it's always easier to say what it's not. So creative mind as opposed to what you might call reactive mind. So a reactive mind is a mind that just kind of goes round and round in circles. is habitual, repeats itself, gets into the same old trouble, the same old times, digs ruts for itself. A creative mind's a mind that's starting to become more free. This sort of looser, that's my image for it. Reactive mind is kind of tight, a sort of tightening knot. Creative mind is when the mind's starting to loosen up. It's the mind when new ideas just start to flow. So you can see it, there is an analogy of the artistic process. It's like, you know, you might say it's when the muse visits artistically, but in our more ordinary everyday life, it's a mind that's got, for a bit of time has got out of its rut. So then can respond, it's fluid, it can respond to whatever and whoever life throws, can respond in a creative way, doesn't just fall into old habits. So hope that's answered the question or responded,
Yeah, there's a few questions about fear actually. So about reconciling fear with positivity and health issues and fear and then having hope in uncertain time as well.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. So there's questions about fear, and also there's something about hope as well. That's quite interesting because they're usually set as sort of opposed, like fear and hope. Well, maybe the first thing to say, the very first aspect of a creative mind or positive mind is, well, we can't take a shortcut to that. We have to just feel whatever we are feeling. So if we're feeling fear, we have to it's like sort of just allow that to be felt without reacting to it. Usually what we do is we feel frightened or anxious, and then we layer another layer of, oh no, like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling so much fear, what's going to happen, It's try and just feel that primary feeling. Okay, I'm feeling fear. Okay, well there you go. You know, that's not surprising. I feel fear in this situation. So it's not. What I'm trying to say is, don't layer on a reaction to the fear. Just think. Okay, well there's fear. It's arising. I can just be with that. It's bound to arise at a time like this. Well, it's bound to arise anyway in life, but especially at a time like this. How can I just meet that with kindness, with patience? As if it's like meeting it in yourself. I always think as if you were meeting it in your own good friend. Like if you met your friend and your friend was frightened or anxious, you would probably be patient with them, be kind with them, offer them reassurance, but also you would try and give them a bigger perspective. You certainly wouldn't scold them or tell them to sort of snap out of it or so on. So I think that's the first step to working with fear. But also this practice of practicing loving kindness is a direct antidote to fear. It's sort of counterintuitive that we can also work with fear by being kind to someone else, being generous to someone else. And the reason that's an antidote is that generosity, kindness is expansive. Fear will just contract the being psychically, but also even physically, you feel yourself contract, whereas generosity, kindness, even connecting with beauty has an expansive effect. So although one might not feel like doing that in a state of fear, try it out actually. I would say try that out, yeah.
Maybe if you could just clip the microphone a bit.
Oh, clip the microphone higher, okay. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think that would be better.
Okay.
So, somebody else was asking about, kind of related a little bit, but thinking positively towards finding it challenging to think positively towards someone they're in conflict with. just any
Yeah.
advice on
Okay.
that?
Yeah. Okay, so the question is, how do we think positively towards someone we're in conflict with? That's a really good question, and it's a very, very important question. And it helps us, again, it helps in this definition of what we mean when we're talking about positivity. So the first thing to say, again, I'll say what it's not, because that's easier. So to think positively towards someone, or in well-wishing, or to extend this attitude of metta, loving kindness towards someone, doesn't mean we have to agree with them. In fact, you could really disagree with someone and still wish them well. Thought that was very, very apparent when the Prime Minister was so ill and in hospital. I really was very, very heartened with reading some of the comments on Twitter and so on of people saying, look, I don't agree with you, I even vehemently disagree with you, but I really hope you get better. As quickly as possible. And I thought, oh, that's what metta is, that's what positivity is. You don't have to agree with somebody, you don't even have to like them. You don't have to pretend that, for example, harm hasn't been done if harm has been done. But what you're trying to do is, it's like getting underneath that and saying, well, this person, you're wishing them well in their humanity. At the very least, you're trying to cultivate an attitude where you wouldn't wish them harm. I think that's why I really like these comments towards our Prime Minister, even people who didn't agree. Be unthinkable to wish someone harm. And that you wouldn't, it sort of recoils from what's human in us to actually wish someone harm. So I hope that goes something towards answering the question. So that's what we mean by positivity. That's what we mean by metta, this emotion of loving kindness, this action of loving kindness. That's what we're cultivating. Yeah.
Yeah, and from the fourth stage into the fifth stage, somebody's asking about finding it difficult to hold many people at once in my heart and imagination. This is Harvey asking about holding many people at once in heart and imagination.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that question, Harvey. So the question is, because I asked us to extend this metta, this loving kindness outwards. And Harvey was saying it can be difficult, and as I think other people might feel, to hold like many, many people in our mind and heart. I would say just hold as many people as you can. In a way, what you're doing is you're just extending your imagination as far as it can. If you just get out into the street, that's fine. Maybe rather than the thinking of numbers of people, almost try and look at who you might be missing out. So make sure you include people that you don't agree with. Make sure you include people that you don't know. Make sure you, just include all sorts of different types of people in a way. I think that's probably more important than thinking you've got to have all. I don't know how many people live on our planet that you've got to have all them, but it's a sort of attitude of whoever you meet in actual person or in your imagination, you wish them well. Yeah, you won't exclude anyone from that well-wishing. That's what you're trying to cultivate. So it's a sort of means to that. That's the principle, that no one in principle is excluded from this well-wishing. And that's quite a challenge, because usually we set ourselves up in the middle of everything as the sort of judge and jury of sort of who deserves love and who doesn't. Or they can have love because they're my friend, I like them, I agree with them, but not them. I just ignore this bunch because I don't agree with them. They're not on my radar. So what you're doing is you're extending the boundaries of that. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah.
Adam's asking about finding the fourth stage of the Metabhavana can somehow sometimes link into all of the other stages and take over. So asking about thoughts on how to work with this.
Okay, so when we say, just maybe for the benefit of people who haven't learned the whole practice, so the fourth stage of the Metabhavana, we did an abbreviated version here, is when you particularly think of and well wish towards someone who you don't like. Okay, so if you find that you bring someone to mind that you don't like and that starts taking over, you've picked somebody too difficult, basically. If I've understood the question properly, you've picked someone who at this point in time is perhaps too demanding. You have to, in a way, as with all meditation and with all of life actually, is you have to bring your intelligence to bear on this. So you have to, if you want to work with somebody who you don't agree with, work with in your mind, with someone who you don't agree with, who you don't like, you have to choose someone that you've got a realistic chance of developing some positivity and creativity towards, or else it'll just blow the whole practice away. So yeah, just if you find that you've been overwhelmed by your dislike or you're just getting in a massive argument in your head, just say to yourself, okay, that person isn't the right person for this practice, and bring someone that's a bit easier to work with to mind. And in saying that, I want to say as well that it is eventually possible to work with people and eventually extend metta towards even people who've really, really harmed us or harmed people we love. I know someone who eventually on retreat able to bring someone to mind and extend metta to someone who had actually murdered her friend. And so there you are, that is possible, and in the end and in the right conditions. So I want to include that as well. So you want to have sort of both are true. So in any individual practice, you have to be realistic, but don't limit the scope of where metta can lead. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then just something about being, I guess, more day to day, being grumpy or short with people, and any strategies to kind of come back to a positive mind in those situations.
Okay, so that's a question about being grumpy or short with people in our day-to-day. So that is, I know it well, and I think it will, I'm not surprised that that's arising, possibly even more now. What are strategies with that? Well, okay, so two things come to mind. So I would just say the more we can practice this practice we've been learning tonight, or practicing tonight, the Metabhavana, the more that'll mitigate against that in general. It won't completely solve it. I've been practicing all these years and I'm afraid I haven't completely cured my grumpiness and shortness. I hope I have improved a little bit. So that'll help in general. And then just apology. If we find ourselves that we have been short or grumpy, the more we can just unreservedly apologize is just really helpful. One, it helps in the moment. It'll help that person. It'll help ourselves. And also, every time we apologize, it modifies our own mind. Apology in itself is a spiritual act, to use that word. So just keep apologizing. We'll probably be grumpy again. Just keep apologizing and try and make your apology as sort of unreserved as you can. Yeah, easy to kind of say, well, I'm sorry I was grumpy, but you did really annoy me. But try not to. Just say, I'm sorry I was grumpy. Yeah, just keep apologizing. And asking forgiveness and forgive ourselves as well. Yeah. So,
Five
okay,
minutes,
so 5. So I'm on, I think we're at time now, so I'm sorry if our time for this question bit, because I want to end with a short meditation. So sorry if I didn't get to all the questions. But let's just end with a little few minutes of a little mini meditation, and then I'll just say a few words to round off. So let's just get ourselves comfortable again. Close our eyes again. Just once again, getting that sense of our weight dropping down. Softening the face. Softening the hands. Feeling the breath in the body. Just allowing the body to breathe naturally. Enjoying a few moments of just sitting here. Nothing to do apart from watching the breath. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. Okay, good. So I'm just going to say last few words just to round off. So I just want to say a few words about the culture that we're trying to create here at the London Buddhist Centre. So London Buddhist Centre is and always has been trying to create a culture of generosity, a community of generosity. Really, in contrast really to the culture of exchange that we often find ourselves in the world. We're trying to create something that's different, even radically different. So we've always tried to offer as much as we can for free, and we've always, not thought of ourselves as staff or anything like that. The teams are volunteers. We don't want to be paid for teaching the Dharma meditation. So we're really, that's really what we're trying to create. If you want to join in with this culture of generosity, the best way to do that, especially at the moment, is contribute financially if you are able to. The best thing of all is if you can give us a monthly gift. That really helps us at a time like this. But anything at all you can give is most welcome. And thanks very much to all those of you who are already giving and who've started to give during this period, which is many, many of you. So that would be great. That's in the box at the side, how you can click onto that to give. And just to say that we'll be, we've got yoga lunch times 3 times a week. And we've also got these evening classes at 7 o'clock every evening. Tomorrow night we've got Jnanavacha and Maitreya Bandhu continuing their exploring parables from Buddhism, which has been great actually. I've really been enjoying listening to them myself, so I'll be tuning in and I hope you'll be able to do that as well. So thank you very much. Lovely to spend the evening with all of you, and yeah, I hope you keep well, and yeah, see you again soon. So thanks from me.